Hello everyone, welcome to Intro to Android Development. My name is Jessie Wang and I will be giving a guest lecture this week on notifications. One major function of mobile application will be displaying information and messages. However, not all information has to be displayed in app's main activity or fragments. We will introduce three other ways to convey information in Android application. The first function will be notifications. A notification is a message that Android displays outside of your app's UI to provide user with reminders, communication from other people, or other timely information from your app. Users can tap on the notification to open your app or take an action directly from the notification. Implementation for notifications is slightly different depending on if your targeted device is API 26 and higher or API 25 and lower. The main difference is a component called notification channels, which separate notifications into categories. These channels increase notification customizations. For example, you can disable or enable notification by category, or you can customize importance, ringtone, and vibration patterns. For API 26 and above, these channels are mandatory for notifications to be created. However, for API 25 or below, we will not use channels, but instead set priorities in the notification builder to specify notification importance. Let's look into some details in the implementation with our demo.
Hi everyone, today I'll be going over a quick demo on how to create notifications. Notifications are actually quite easy to create, and there's two main parts to it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first part is to create the notification itself, using the notification compat builder function. So let's create a builder here. .builder, and we'll pass it a context this, and we're also going to pass it a channel ID. Now, I'll go more in depth into what channels are in a bit, but just understand that in API 26 and above, channels are required in order to essentially pass notifications to the user. So whenever you create a notification, there must also be a channel associated with that. So let's go ahead and create this channel ID here. And it's got to be a string, so we'll just call it 1 in this case. The next thing we're going to do is add some properties to our notification builder. So something that we can do is go ahead and set a small icon here. I've gone ahead and created a drawable file here for a notification. It's essentially just a little alert icon. In addition to that, we can also set the content title. So let's do that. And let's call it, this is a notification title. In addition to that, we can also set the content text. So we'll just call this is the notification body, and this can be however long you want it to be. In addition to that, we can also set the style. So some styling that we can actually put is a big text style. So I'll go ahead and explain what this is right after I create it. And we'll make this notification overview. So essentially, whenever you click on it or whenever you get a notification, sometimes you can expand that notification to get more details about it. So with this big text style here, essentially we'll have that overview that will display first, and if the user wants to click on the little drop down on that notification, they'll be able to get this notification body. So essentially that's a bit of styling that we can add to our notification. So that's pretty much it for our notification. Obviously there are many more little things that you can add to your notification here and there to make it more personalized for your particular app, but that can be looked up on the Android documentation if you want to go more in depth. The next thing we're going to do is actually create a channel. Now, I kind of briefly touched upon this, but essentially an Android 26 API 26 and above, or Android Oreo and above, all notifications must be bundled with a channel. Essentially what a channel is it essentially allows us to group notifications into category and categorize them. So for example, let's take the app Facebook. Facebook has many different types of notifications, such as friend requests. That's a type of notification. Maybe you play games on Facebook. There are game notifications. Or maybe you use Messenger and there's a Facebook Messenger notification. So these sort of notifications within themselves have many similarities, so we want to categorize them. And essentially channels are these categorization topics. So whenever we create a notification, we say it belongs to this channel, and that way we know that this type of channel or notifications that go to this channel will always have this sort of styling. So you'll get a better picture of it once we create this. So let's go ahead and create a function called create channel here. So the first thing we want to do is, as I mentioned before, this channel only needs to be created in API 26 and above, or Android Oreo or above. So thus we're going to create a little checker here. We're going to make sure that our SDK version is greater than or equal to Android Oreo. And this way, whenever we run this function, we don't have to run it if we have an older version set. So we're going to go ahead and create a description text here. And for this channel, so whenever someone wants to check what this channel is, let's maybe say channel for messages. All right, now let's set an importance. So what is importance? Essentially, importance is just describing notifications in this particular channel will have this sort of priority over certain other notifications or applications. So we have things like low importance, high importance, or medium importance, or default importance. So the more important, the more likely the notification is to show up, even if you're in do not disturb mode, or if you're playing a game or something like that, and it will pop up instead of just kind of hiding in the background. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and make this very important, importance high. All right. Now, let's go ahead and create the channel itself. So this notification channel is going to use the notification channel constructor here. We're going to go ahead and pass it our channel ID, which we already created. Let's also give it a channel name. In this case, let's also make a little name up here. New channel. How about that? How original. Let's make this channel name here, and let's give it the importance that we just set. We can go ahead and use a nifty little function here provided by Kotlin to change some of the fields right off the bat. So we can go ahead and give the description, make the description of this channel our description text. We can also do things like maybe we want the color that lights up whenever we get a notification to be red. So if there's a little LED that can light up, it will do that. There are tons of other things you can do to make your channels more stylistic, such as you can even set vibration patterns. So you can do like do. You get the drift of that, gist of that. In addition to that, maybe I want to also enable lights here, make that true, so that our light color will actually show up. All right. Now, the next step is actually to create our notification manager. So the notification manager is essentially this singular object that exists in every context or any layout that allows us to display notifications, send notifications to the user. So whenever we create this channel, we want to be able to associate or essentially register this channel with the notification manager. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Notification manager, we're going to cast it here as a notification manager, and we're going to go ahead and do get system services, and we're going to get the context of the notification service, where I'm going to make sure that it is a notification manager, and there you go, that's a notification manager. Next, what we want to do is register our channel with the notification manager by doing create notification channel, and passing in our channel. And there you go. That's how you create a channel. What we want to do here is go back to our onCreate method here. And obviously, you can put a lot of this into specific functions such that it doesn't just build this notification whenever you open the application. But this is just a quick demo. Let's go ahead and create our notification channel. There we go. Now we created our channel. Now, how do we actually display this notification? Well, it's actually using something we've done before, intents. So let's go ahead and create an intent here. Now, I didn't create a second layout, so we're not actually going to be going into a second activity for this intent. But what we want to do is actually utilize this intent and create a pending intent. A pending intent is essentially an intent that holds on to a bit of information until a user interacts or does something. So essentially, it just keeps on waiting until the user does something. So let's go ahead and create our pending intent here. This pending intent, we're going to go and cast it as a pending intent here. And intent.getActivity. We're going to give it this context, a request code of 0. We're going to give it the intent that we just created, and we're going to give it a flag of 0. Now, the reason for flags is essentially it allows flags. Essentially, you can go ahead and give your notifications. For example, we can do like set flags to say like this particular notification. Whenever the user clicks on it, it will actually create a new instance of the application. Such as, for example, maybe this application gives me messaging notifications. However, the only reason that the user would ever interact with this messaging portion is if they click on the notification itself. So there's no need to load up the original, the original cycle of the application. We just have to create a little new instance of this messaging layout. So that way we can save some resources. But yeah, that's what flags are for. But yeah, if you want to look more into that, you can go ahead and check the Android documentation. All right, so now we can go ahead and tell our notification builder to set our content intent to this pending intent here. To this pending intent here. And, I wrote the wrong one. Set content intent. There we go. And builder.set auto cancel to true. Now, the reason I do auto cancel is because this allows the notification such that whenever the user clicks on it, it'll automatically get rid of it, which is usually true in most cases. So now that we've set up the builder, we've created our channel, what we want to do is go back to the notification manager, compat.from. We're going to select this particular notification manager from this context, and we're going to run the notify function. The notify function essentially allows us to send the notification itself to the user. We're going to give it a unique notification ID. So this is different from the channel ID. This is the notification itself. So channels have IDs, and the individual notifications also have their own IDs. And we're going to go ahead and do builder.build. And there we go. So now we've pretty much done all the code that we need in order to create a notification. I'm just going to go ahead and add that. The reason you don't actually have to specify what channel you want to put here is because we tell the notification builder that we're going to associate this notification with this particular channel using this channel ID value right here. So that's how the channels are associated with our notifications. So let's go ahead and run this application. I'm going to pull up the emulator here. And there you go. Here's the emulator. And this is essentially what it is. As you can see here, we just got this notification at the top. Intro and Android notifications. We can see here that we have our big style text here, notification overview. And this is the title. We go ahead and do the drop down. We can see our content body itself. Now, you may be wondering, how do I know that this is that particular channel? Well, if we go ahead and go to the, I accidentally closed it out. Let me go ahead and restart this application. But if we go ahead and, There we go, we got that notification. Sorry for the weird sound, but essentially if you click on the settings, we can go ahead and go to more settings, and you can see here inside of intro Android notifications application, we have categories, and these are our channels here. We created our new channel, and you can see within these channels, we have importance of high, meaning that it'll make a sound. We didn't add vibration, but you can see here, there are things like you can add vibration, and here's our channel description, channel for messages. You can add all sort of settings inside of your channel to customize this particular page. But yeah, that's how you create channels. That's how you use that's how you create notifications, and that's how you utilize notification channels. And yeah.
The second function will be toast. Toast can be thought of as an in-app notification. They only appear when an action triggers them in the app. An example could be telling user their messages has been successfully sent to app's backend after a send button is clicked. At the same time, toast can be used to debug things when you would like to visualize them in the app. For instance, if there's a backend data that will not appear directly on the activity layouts, we can use a toast to test if the data is what we expected. So here's how we implement the toast. We first import the toast class and call the method makeText, which takes in 3 different parameters: context, text of the toast, and the duration of the toast. The context will simply be application context, which returns the current state of the application. And for the text of the toast, we can just say this is toast. You can also set it to be, if you want to debug with the toast function, you can also set it to be whatever value you want to be appearing in your app you want to debug. And for the duration, it could either be toast.length.long or toast.length.short. It basically describe how long the toast will appear in the screen before disappearing. And the makeText method, it returns a properly initialized toast object that's readily for the application to show. So let's just say the duration now is length.long, and we use .show to really show the toast. Remember, we say that toast can only appear when there's an action trigger them in the app. So this toast.show method is basically triggered when the application is like this current activity is being created. So let's see how it goes when we actually run it in the emulator. This is a toast. Well, toast can solely show messages in an app. What if you also want to enable users to interact with the in-app notification component? You could use a third function called snackbar. Snackbar could be dismissed by users when an action listener could be set up to respond to users' action with the snackbar. They show a brief message at the bottom of the screen on mobile and appear above all other elements on the screen. Remember, only one snackbar can be displayed at once. The implementation of snackbar is pretty similar to the implementation of the toast. You basically first import a class called snackbar and call the method make. And this method takes 3 parameters: view, text, and duration. So for the view, remember we say that snackbar appears on the top of all the elements in the current layout. So we need to find what is the layout that we would like the toast to be on the top of. So let's go into this activity.snackbar. And we see that the both parent, like the parent layout for this activity is is not named, so we have to give it an ID that our column field will be able to find this layout. So let's name it parent layout. And let's go back to our main activity, and we find this view by ID. And we enter a text that we want to be appearing in the snack bar. For example, this is a snack bar. So the duration of the snack bar could either be length short, length long, and length indefinite. The first two might be very familiar with you guys because this is exactly the same with the toast. Length dot indefinite, however, means that slack bar will display from the time that is shown until either it's dismissed or there's another slack bar that's appearing. This is very intuitive because we say that uh, there's going to be only one slack bar appearing at one time. Let's set this slack bar we want to make to length indefinite at this time. Again, similarly, we can use the .show function to see how it looks actually in our app. This is a snack bar. Okay, what if we want to set an action button for the snack bar? We first would like to pass on the object generated by the method make to a value called, let's just call it snack bar. And this is basically similar to the make text for toast, which generates a properly initialized object that can be directly shown, but at this time we don't want to show it before we add an action button for it. So let's say snack bar set action, which takes in three parameters. Uh, um, let's just call the method set action, which takes in a string value that basically says what is on the text of the button. At this time, we just say close, and we can look at it as if this is actually a on-click listener for button, and what is inside the parentheses, the will actually be the text that will appear on the button, and what is inside this bracket will be what will this what will we actually do when you click on the button. So at this time we can say snackbar.dismiss, which makes the snackbar disappear. Let's see how it goes. Oh, okay, in the end we actually also need to make it shown, and let's just test how it goes in the actual application. So this is a snack bar, and if we click close, it just disappears. And this is all of the lecture. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful rest of your week.